artists be business people and still stay true to their art? This is part of my series, how are we going to sell more of our art, craft and handmade products without selling out? Now, every time I talk about selling art, there are always those artists who come into my comments who basically say, if we're selling our art, we're selling out. And really that's the point of my series and the point of me talking more about helping artists and makers sell art. The misconception is that as artists, we should stay as artists, which basically translates as, well, therefore we need to be poor struggling artists and not make any money. And as soon as we transition into trying to be business people, then we're selling our art out. And I think this is absolute and total BS. I think this is a really old-fashioned, out-of-date notion that simply is not part of today's world. You can absolutely be both business orientated and an artist at the same time. In fact, I would even argue that running a business as an artist is even more creative than creating the art itself, because you have to come up with so many other creative ways and creative ideas to help you sell that art. You also, in today's world, have to create content, and that is also a form of creative expression. And so I think that as artists and makers today, our artistic world has basically evolved. And it's evolved to include the creative process of selling our art as well as making it. I think traditionally that wasn't necessarily the case before websites and before social media. One of the ways to sell our work would be to get somebody else to sell it for us, i.e. putting our work into exhibitions and galleries. And that gave a lot of power to those galleries and people hosting exhibitions, which then fed into the hierarchy of where your art fits. But I just think that this does not exist today. There is not the same emphasis on putting your work into galleries, even putting your work into other outlets and shops, simply because we have the power of social media, and therefore we can take selling into our own hands and we have more control over selling our art ourselves, providing you are willing to learn how to be a business person. Do you agree with me? Disagree? Let's talk about it.